Alright, all my little YouTube motherfuck faces, Validation Boy is back with you. Well, it appears as though the satanic left has a brand new sacred cow. I was watching a Ramsey Paul video today, which I'll link below, and I knew nothing about this subject until I heard it from him, and I decided I needed to do a little bit more research. I could not believe what I was fucking hearing. Turns out there's this little girl who looks like she's about 8 years old, but somehow is 16. Her name is Greta Thunberg, and she's a Swedish climate activist, born in 2003. Okay, let's take a look at her Wikipedia page. She's been described as a role model for worldwide student activism. Okay. Too bad her entire platform and activism is based on complete lies. Yeah, we all know climate change is a huge fucking lie. It only gets promoted so that the elite can live the good life while you, the commoner, is led to accept the idea that you deserve less and less. It's a huge fucking lie and everybody knows it. It's all about Agenda 21. It ties back into my video called Traffic Jams Are a Hoax, which I guess I'll also link below. Basically, the government wants to take more and more from you until you eventually have nothing. And this little demon here is a huge advocate for it. And we've seen this before countless times. The satanic left loves to use the children, so that way you can't say anything bad about their agenda. And not only that, this girl supposedly has Asperger's and OCD and another mental illness, which I gotta break down for you guys, because it's so fucking ridiculous. I can't stand the fact that people actually believe this shit. She's known for having initiated the School Strike for Climate movement that formed in November 2018 and surged globally after the COP24 conference in December the same year. Her personal activism began in August 2018 when her recurring and solitary School Strike for the Climate protesting outside the Swedish parliament in Stockholm began attracting media coverage. So she would go out there and sit down with a placard in front of the Swedish parliament in Stockholm and use it as an excuse to skip school. Okay. And she started getting media coverage for it. Imagine if a little boy decided to do something like that. Yeah, he'd get in a lot of trouble, and his ass would get thrown straight back into the prison school system. But little girls get to do whatever the fuck they want in this hyper fucking liberal, satanic bullshit civilization that we've created. So on March 15th, 2019, an estimated number of 1.4 million students in 112 countries around the world joined her call in the striking and protesting. And they got another one scheduled too. Okay, so on the 13th of March 2019, 3 members of the Norwegian parliament nominated Thunberg as a candidate for the Nobel fucking Peace Prize later this year. Wow. Of course, she said she's honored and very grateful. She's already received various prizes and awards. Okay. Her mother's a Swedish opera singer. And her father is a famous actor. Named after somebody else in his family who also is famous. A director, I guess. Now, at a TED Talk. Oh, wow. This little 16-year-old girl gets to be in the TED Talks. How fucking lame is this? So anyways, at the TED Talk, Thunberg said she first heard about climate change at the age of 8, but couldn't understand why so little was being done about it. Because it's bullshit, little girl. It's bullshit. That's why. At age 11, she became depressed and stopped talking. Oh, because of the climate. Later on, she was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. Okay. OCD. Okay. And selective mutism. All right, guys, selective mutism. Now, when I was a little kid, I was shy sometimes, and a lot of people are like this. And little shy kids, when they meet strangers that they're not sure about, they don't talk to them. And apparently nowadays, there's a name for this, and it's a condition called selective mutism. It's got to be the biggest fucking scam I've ever heard in my life. Okay? I guess every kid everywhere who has met one of their parents' brand new friends or one of their parents' associates and was too shy to speak to them or speak in their presence, all of us, we all now have this selective mutism disorder, right? Give me a break. So what the left is really doing here is putting up not only a child as the face of their bullshit fucking climate change cult so that you can't say anything about it, but the child is like handicapped too. So you really can't say anything against it. And if you do, you're just a big asshole. I mean, this is what it's come to. But they've been doing this for a long fucking time. They always use the fucking children. They always use the fucking children. She added that selective mutism meant she was speaking only when she needed to, and that now is one of those moments. Oh, give me a break, man. Thunberg has said, I feel like I am dying inside if I don't protest. Oh my God. Her father doesn't like her cutting class, but says, we respect that she wants to make a stand. She can either sit at home and be really unhappy or protest and be happy. So your dad's a fucking cuck. Okay. To lower her family's bullshit carbon footprint, she insisted they become vegan and give up flying as she did herself. I'm sure her disgusting liberal cuck fucking Swede parents are totally gonna do exactly what she fucking wants to. And I'm looking at some of these pictures, man. I'm not even sure this is a little girl. I'm not gonna say it's a little boy in drag, but I'm just, I'm not gonna outright say that. But yeah, this is definitely questionable. On August 20th, 2018, Thunberg, who had just started 9th grade, decided not to attend school until the 2018 Sweden general election in early September after heat waves and wildfires in Sweden. Her demands were that the Swedish... This bitch has demands now? Okay. Her demands were that the Swedish government reduce carbon emissions in accordance with the Paris Agreement, and she protested by sitting outside the Riksdag every day during school hours with the sign that translates to School Strike for the Climate. After the general elections, she continued to strike only on Fridays. Oh, so she gets to take off school every Friday. Wow, must be nice. And that was gaining worldwide attention. She inspired school students across the globe to take part in student strikes. As of December 2018, more than 20,000 students had skipped class and held strikes in at least 270 cities. Thunberg credits the teen activists of Parkland fucking Florida, who organized the March for Our Lives, as her inspiration. See how it's all intertwined? From October 2018 onwards, Thunberg's activism evolved from solitary protesting to taking part in demonstrations throughout Europe, making several high-profile public speeches, and mobilizing her growing number of followers on social media platforms. But she's still doing her little Friday protests. UN General Secretary Antonio Guterres has endorsed the school strikes initiated by Thunberg, admitting that, quote, "My generation has failed to respond properly to the dramatic challenge of climate change. This is deeply felt by the young people. No wonder they are angry." All right, she's done a bunch of speeches in European parliaments, one in Brussels, one in London. She said, "We're facing an immediate, unprecedented crisis that has never been treated as a crisis, and our leaders are all acting like children. We need to wake up and change everything." Oh yeah, we know what that means. And we know exactly who the fuck is behind this bullshit. In November 2018, she was at Stockholm TED Talks. She spoke about realizing when she was 8 years old that climate change existed and wondered why it was not headline news on every channel, as if there was a world war going on. Give me a fucking break. She said she did not go to school to become a climate scientist, as some suggested, because the science was done and only denial, ignorance, and inaction remained. Speculating that her children and grandchildren would ask her why they had not taken action in 2018 when there was still time, she concluded with, "We can't change the world by playing by the rules because the rules have to be changed." Alright, so to make a big fucking statement, to make a big stink, on January 23rd, 2019, she arrived in Davos after a 32-hour train journey, which was in contrast to the many delegates who arrived by jet planes at the World Economic Forum. Okay, 32-hour fucking train journey. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just say that it was a 33-hour train journey, to be perfectly honest. She told the panel in Davos that they're all evil, and that our house is on fire, and I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. We owe it to the young people to give them hope. Yeah, shut the fuck up, you fucking liar. We know who's really behind this. She wrote in an article for The Guardian in January 2019, according to the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, "We are less than 12 years away from not being able to undo our mistakes." Oh, that sounds awfully fucking familiar. In that time, unprecedented changes in all aspects of society need to have taken place, including a reduction of our CO2 emissions by at least 50%, which can be translated to, we're going to take 50% of your fucking earnings every year and degrade you like the Goyim dogs that you are. Okay, so in February 2019, she went to a conference in the European Economic and Social Committee and to the European Commission chief Jean-Claude Juncker, where she demanded that to still meet the climate goals, the EU must reduce their CO2 emissions by at least 80% until 2030. Wow, this is just getting out of hand. In April 2019, in the European Parliament, she chided those present for 3 emergency Brexit summits and no emergency summit regarding the breakdown of the climate and the environment. I just don't understand. So does this little girl in Sweden personally experience anything involving climate change in her life at all? How the fuck does this little girl even expect to be taken seriously? She claims that the extinction rate is up to 10,000 times faster than what is considered normal, with up to 200 species becoming extinct every single day. In addition, the erosion of the fertile topsoil, deforestation of the rainforest, toxic air pollution, loss of insects and wildlife, acidification of our oceans are all disastrous trends. And she was given a 30-second fucking standing ovation at the end of her speech. Why? Why? Al Gore said this shit 30 fucking years ago. But no, she's their brand new sacred fucking cow. And so she's been given all these fucking prizes. She won some kind of a debate article competition concerning the climate for young people. She was nominated for other companies' prizes that honor children who promote sustainable development, the Children's Climate Prize, but declined because the finalists would have to fly to Stockholm. Oh, wow. She's so true to her word. You know, she's so true to her word, and this is not about her, even though she has massive social media platforms, probably. Yeah, it's all just hypocrisy and bullshit. We know who's behind it. She was awarded the Freihuset Scholarship of the Young Role Model of the Year. So she's going to get a free ride through college. Time magazine named Thunberg one of the world's 25 most influential teenagers. Okay. On the occasion of International Women's Day, Thunberg was proclaimed the most important woman of the year in Sweden in 2019. Okay, so they see her as a woman. Oh, good. My conscience is clear. I was almost starting to feel bad about trashing this little fucking satanic scumbag. But not anymore. She received the German Golden Camera Special Climate Protection Award. So she's been getting all these awards for being a little cuck for Satan and lying about climate change and being the demonic face that the left uses as a sacred cow and as a shield that can't be attacked because she's female, a minor, and handicapped. How dare you? You know? If she wins the Nobel Peace Prize, she'll be the youngest person ever, which just goes to show you how that shit is not to be taken seriously. So she's also one of the most 100 influential people of 2019, according to Time magazine now. And she's had some controversy with her affiliations. I guess some guy from the We Don't Have Time Foundation recruited her to become an unpaid youth advisor and used her name and image without her knowledge or permission to raise millions for his for-profit subsidiary. And she received no money from the company. And then she terminated her volunteer advisor role with WDHT, stating that she is not part of any organization. I am absolutely independent and I do what I do completely for free. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call bullshit on that one, seeing as how you just got a scholarship and an entire college education paid for free. There's a whole lot of monetary value in that, so you are getting paid. Greta Thunberg, fucking 16-year-old that strangely looks like a 9-year-old and shit. The fuck's going on here? I don't give a fuck if she's supposedly handicapped. That's bullshit. Reminds me of that movie Orphan, where there's this woman who's like in her 50s or 60s and she just does some kind of weird shit to make herself look like a child. What if that's what we're dealing with here? I mean, of course, that's complete and utter speculation. But still, I can't believe the satanic left is really stooping this low. I mean, it's just completely fucking inverted. Just like everything else. I'm just about sick of it all. I can't believe the tactics that are being employed and how people still fall for this shit, man. Or even if people aren't falling for it, the fact that someone's out there doing these things and expects people to fall for it, it just blows my mind. Alright, thanks for checking out my video, guys. As always, much respect, and thanks for watching.